everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of FM21 Beta Battle with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So, today we get Southampton in the league, and we are very close in terms of league position, so it's an important game to see if we can get 3 points. But also, I get to tell you about one of the most bizarre games I have ever experienced in Football Manager. So, let's get into the episode. Welcome back to Leeds United. As I say, we've got Southampton today. We sit in 7th, they sit in 9th, but I can't prolong it anymore. We've got to go and have a look at the previous match that we've just played. So the candidate for the most bizarre match I've ever seen in Football Manager was when we played Burnley. We got a 2-0 win against Newcastle, which was great considering we got a 5-0 loss against Liverpool in the last episode. But we played Burnley away from home and it was utterly bizarre. So let's go in and have a look at the stuff that happened. So we went 3-1 down. We managed to pull it back to 3-2 from Rodrigo. Then he got sent off. Then we changed our setup and went very attacking. And we got 3 goals to go 5-3 up. And then they got 3 goals late in the game to win it 6-5. It was absolutely barking mad. It really was. We did absolutely so well up until this point, and then the fact that we were down to 10 men eventually in the last 20 minutes of the game, it just became too much for us. And you can see that Musa got a 10 for them, having scored 4 goals. We had no way of stopping them in that last section of the game. That last 10 minutes, we were dead on our feet. And it was so unlucky. I thought at 5-3 or whatever it was that we'd come back to, I thought we were a shoo-in. And we tried to suppress the game enough. And it didn't quite work out. But it was so ridiculous. I'm so sorry that it wasn't the game that I chose to show you. Because it was just absolutely mad. But anyway, that is the most bizarre game I think I've ever seen. Or at least been experienced myself, having playing Football Manager. But there we go. 5-6 loss. Well, at least we got the 3 points against Newcastle. That helps. We've maintained a decent position in 7th currently. But we do have some very tricky games coming up. So the likes of Southampton, even though they're sitting in 9th and doing pretty well, we do need to try and get the points from these next sort of 3 games before we get some really tough ones again. Interestingly, Tottenham, who are currently sitting in 13th, have just changed their manager. And it's one Marcelo Bielsa that has come in to replace Mourinho. So obviously he wasn't doing well enough at the club. And they've brought the Leeds old boy that I replaced into Tottenham. So we'll see whether he can improve them over the next few games before the end of the season. But for us, we need to think about Southampton and how we can get the 3 points today. So we've got some issues. We've got a few injuries. Dallas is out for 5 to 6 days. Forshaw is out for 4 weeks. Rodrigo is suspended for about 3 games. I think he did a really bad double-footed challenge to get himself sent off against Burnley. Rightly so. There was nothing we could complain about. So he's going to be out for the next few games, unfortunately. So all of that has meant that I've got no Mezzala because Rodrigo and Wilshere are normally the guy that I play in the third position in the central midfield when I play a Mezzala. So I've decided to go to our third tactic today and play a 4-4-2 against Southampton just because of the players that we've got available to us. Because we've got so many out, we've got those 4 key players out. At least 3 of them would be in my first team squad for every game. So it's unfortunate. Costa's picked up a little bit of a knock as well, but returns to full fitness imminently, so he finds a position on the bench today. Rafinha comes in and takes his position in the side. So there's a few changes. It's not quite as full strength as I'd like. But there's not much we can do about it, so we have to go in and see what we can do. So 4-4-2, we're playing the wing play type of option of our style of play. So let's see how we get on against Southampton with that sort of setup. So we've got Meslier in goal, Ayling at right back, Davis at left back, Llorente and Koch in central defence, central midfield of Click and Phillips, Rafinha on the right, Hernandez on the left, and Bamford and Bakker up top, with a bench of Cooper, Janmat, Shackleton, Boy, Costa, Harrison and Roberts. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So I've kind of tried to calm the players down a little bit, having had that most recent weird game against Burnley. So I've gone with, if we play our game, we'll win, and you're very capable of it. Let's just see if we can get a decent performance out of them today, a much more calm kind of performance out of them, and see if we can take ownership of this game early on and get an early goal maybe that settles the nerves. Playing the 4-4-2, it wouldn't be necessarily what I'd have wanted to do. If we could have done everything, I would have had my full strength 11 out with the normal play that we have, the style of play, but we can't do it. So we'll just have to wait and see how it works out against Southampton, really. Hernandez on a long free kick to the far post, and we get a looping header over the top of the keeper, but it hits the top of the netting rather than in the goal itself. And Southampton can clear the ball, but it goes very long straight to Davis. He drops it back to the keeper. So we get to build up our own attack from the back, which is good. Let's see. We went too long and we didn't go wide, did we? We're supposed to be on the wide play, remember, taking into account our fullbacks and our wingers. And we didn't on that occasion. And we have absolutely paid the price. Now, if we're going to give them instruction, I kind of expect them to try at least to fulfill the instruction. And the goalkeeper from that particular position had nobody on him and could take his time and could at least have found somebody, you would hope, that could have taken the ball further up the pitch or at least put it into those wide areas, which is where we wanted him to. But he didn't. He went straight through the middle. It came straight back at us. And Southampton have taken a very, very unfortunate 1-0 lead after 25 minutes of the game. I'm a bit disappointed by that. I think I'm going to have to G them up. So we'll go in there and tell them to focus for the last sort of 10 minutes of the game, and just see if that can bring about any form of change in the momentum of the match. A long clearance, but again, it's just a bit wayward and a bit kind of nothingy. I'm going to pause the game for a second and go in the tactics. And when we've got possession, how long is... there you see, that's one of the problems. We're going to take that down, I think, and shorten the play and maybe slow the game down a little bit and give ourselves a bit of a chance, hopefully, to get on the ball as much as we can and do something with it. So we'll press play on that, and then we will go... there we go. That's the one I want, and that can confirm it. So yeah, we'll see whether that changes anything. I'm not against a slightly longer ball style, but we weren't playing it to where I wanted it to be, which is down the sides, were we at all? So let's see if we can change the momentum here. But it's Southampton on the ball down the left-hand side. Redmond into the box. Drifts past off right full-back Janmat like he wasn't even there. Was it Janmat? No, it's Ayling today. And it looked like he wasn't even bothered. And they get another chance at goal, and eventually it goes for a corner kick, which the corner comes into the near post. And we just about get it cleared. But it looks like Southampton are going to win the ball back again. We're not really battling enough, are we, somehow? It doesn't feel like we're at the races today. They've had 7 shots and 4 on target. We've only had 1 at goal, and it wasn't on target. Not good enough at all. And it really feels like the change of style of play and the formation, etc., hasn't worked for us at all. So we might have to change that at half-time. Let's see what happens on this particular highlight, whether we'll go in with another goal down. We're not, though. That's good. We're only 1 goal down, potentially, at half-time, if we can make it. And then we'll have to put the rocket up them and maybe change back and see what we can do with the personnel that we've got. So half-time, what's going on? We've only got a 0.14 XG expectation. That's nowhere near good enough at home. So we're going to go in. We're going to throw the water bottle at them. Haven't done that too often, to be honest. So I'm far from pleased. It absolutely decimates them, which is not what I wanted at all. So we're going to have to go in here and try and build them back up a bit. So let's go with the fist pump. There's a lot more to come from you, and we'll do that all the way through the side. The fist pump, I'm looking for you to make the difference. We'll go for that in midfield. A lot more to come from you in attack. Hasn't changed the demotivation, has it? But what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the tactics, and we're going to change back into our normal style of play, and we are going to have to take Bamford out and put Shackleton in maybe to play that role. So let's just make sure we've got them around the right way here. Let's do that. That's what we want to do. And we're going to go back into the second half, having absolutely shouted and screamed at them, kicked water bottles around, and it made absolutely the worst kind of impact on them. Or did it? Maybe that's just going to make them go out in the second half and try that a little bit harder, fire them up, push them forward. Let's see if we can go into a more positive outlook. So we're going attacking and just see if we can get a chance or two. It's Rafinha with a good attempt from that right wing position on his left foot, cut inside, but he did dragged it wide of the goal ultimately. 71 minutes gone. Let's go back into the tactics page, see if we can make a couple more substitutions and just get some fresh legs into the game. Phillips is struggling. We're going to put Boy on, and we'll switch him and Shackleton round. So that's what we're going to do in midfield, excuse me. Then we can either take a fullback off, but we don't have the direct replacement. We're going to have to take, I think we'll take Hernandez off and put Harrison on. Harrison needed a bit of a break, so he came out the side, but he's still on the bench. So we'll chuck him in for the last sort of 15 minutes of the game and see if he can make a difference down that left-hand side for us. But we just need to create chances. I mean, we are doing it a little bit better than we were in the first half. That is absolutely definite. But it's still not good enough, really, is it? 5 minutes to go. Let's go all out with very attacking. One last attempt. Ayling with a throw-in. Click back to Ayling. Gets it into the box. And it's Davis at the edge of the box. Has a shot and back of there. As long as he's not offside. And I don't think he was. Then that's a good response. And Bakker gets another goal. They're appealing for the offside. Was he? I thought there was a player playing him on, but it might go against us. Goal disallowed. That's unfortunate, isn't it? Absolutely. I thought, they were miles off. It wasn't anything like I thought it was. I thought this guy had dropped back, but he hadn't. My mistake completely. 3 minutes to go. Can we get one last chance to give it a go? And we go long down the right-hand side, but Bakker doesn't quite get onto the loose ball. And again, it's Southampton with the ball in their defensive unit with a chance to figure out their own style of play and come back at us. They do it very well. They get out very well down the left-hand side, but we've dropped them back. But eventually they move it forward. Ayling picks up a very, very loose ball. Is this our moment? Can we get one decent opportunity? Rafinha on the ball, approaching the penalty box, gets into the box, has a go and puts it slightly wide. Disappointing at the end of a decent run to get all the way into the box, and there's the final whistle. And this is the issue that I've got with my Leeds United squad, it feels like. Now, today we've got injuries and we've got suspensions, and it's a bit of a pain, to be honest. But it's so inconsistent. We go great against Newcastle. We have an absolute bizarre match against Burnley. And on this particular occasion, all of those things came back and sort of prevented us, I felt like. That the hangover from the Burnley match, the fact that we got so many injuries and suspensions at one go to a few key players, it just meant that nothing worked. The formation didn't work. The style of play didn't work. The personnel didn't work. I didn't work. You didn't work. Nothing worked. Oh well. One of them days. So in terms of analysing this performance, the first thing to say is that, Southampton did well. They had an XG of, where can I see their XG? There it is, 1.45. So they got their goal, and that was what they were expected to do. And, fair play to them for that. But we didn't do anything. We really struggled to create decent chances. And we came out with an XG of 0.88. And that bared out, didn't it, really? We didn't get the goal. and we had a few chances inside the box, and you can see that we got a few away at goal, but it didn't work at all, did it? If we open this one out, you can see that this one here, for example, that's a shot blocked. We got this one here is a shot off target. This one from Rafina is a shot saved. Yeah, it's just unfortunate all the way through that Southampton defended well, but then we just didn't put our shots at goal well enough. We worked well down the right-hand side, a little bit disappointing from the others maybe, and that right side just didn't bear the fruit that I hoped it would. Our heat map suggests that we were a little bit deeper than Southampton, so they were on the front foot more than we were, which is obvious in the result as well. And they had plenty of opportunities, and it just was not good enough today. So let's go and have a look into our passing attributes, our passing statistics, should I say, and see what they can show us today. Intercepted passes 38, that's kind of about what we normally do, I think. And it's unfortunate that we had to play that slightly longer ball system, I would suggest. Otherwise, hopefully some of those wouldn't have been there. In terms of block passes, we didn't have any unsuccessful ones. I'm not bothered about these ones. It's these sorts of areas that we've got to get the person inside the box with a better opportunity. These throw-ins and crosses and long balls into the box weren't working today, and then we get a few out of play as well, which is disappointing, especially down the wide areas. Yeah, just one of them days again where it feels like this Leeds United side. If I could spend 3, 4, 5 seasons with Leeds United, I reckon we could make them into a force, because there's the basics of a decent side in here. But the minute you take away a couple of those personnel, then the backups aren't quite as good as maybe we would want them to be. Let's go and have a look at how the goalkeeper coped today. He didn't hold any of his saves. He parried one, and he tipped a couple of over the bar, so he did okay. He is doing really well for us, Meslier. He's playing very well, but obviously the goal was went against him today. And then the average positions. Let's go and have a look at this. The average positions without the ball are, what can we make of these? So the fullbacks are bombing on, which maybe leaves us a little bit too exposed in these kinds of areas. And maybe if we're going to do that, we need to drop Phillips further back, but we'd have to change his role to do it. He's playing already as the defensive deep-lying playmaker. Maybe we need sort of a half-back in that position to really make a 3 if those two are bombing on. That was with the ball. So that's why you would expect them to be further up the pitch. Sorry, my mistake. Got that round the wrong way. That's better, isn't it? A back 4 that was a bit more solid. That's kind of what I expected. I got them round the wrong way. And this is more compact and hard to break. Should we be going slightly wider, maybe, in terms of our defensive setup? Maybe. It gives them a lot of space, doesn't it, to work with. And then these are the overall positions. And that's okay. I mean, the defensive line is roughly where I want it to be. I think maybe we could move up that attacking line a little bit. But today, they weren't at the races at all, were they, as an attacking force? So it was disappointing. We'll come out of there. You can see that we had some good ratings. I mean, Ayling and Llorente played decently enough. Southampton obviously had 12 attempts at goal, so we obviously stopped them on occasions. But it was just that attacking third again just didn't quite work out, especially in that first half in the 4-4-2. Was that a mistake to play? I don't know. We hadn't got the personnel that I really wanted, but maybe we should have persevered with this one anyway. You live and learn, but that's going to basically do it for sort of figuring this one out. It was just a disappointing day, really. You were not good enough today. That was the sort of match we should be winning. I'm happy to say that to them, because I believe that we should have been able to compete in that at least. And it just felt that we were off colour all the way through the game. And Southampton pick up some valuable points for themselves. They've moved up to 8th. We sit still in 7th. We're still in with a shout of getting into this top 6, but it's a little bit more tricky. But let's not lose sight of the fact that what we really wanted was just a top 10 finish this season, as much as is possible. It looks like we're on for that as we speak, but we've got to find a way to pick up a few more points. So let's go and just check in with where we're heading next for the next episode. So here we are back on the schedule page. It doesn't make great reading, does it really? From Man City in the Cup, where we lost to them, it's been a bit of a poor run of form, and we have to find a way to change that. We've got a couple of decent enough games against Villa, who are in the top 6. That's going to be tricky, but then Crystal Palace. So you'd hope that at least one of those would get a result in. Then we come up against Bielsa at Tottenham, and I think that's the game we're going to come back for. Good opportunity to go up against a side that maybe have struggled this season, but have got some stupidly good players, haven't they? Especially their front three. So if Bielsa can get them working, we're going to come up against a really, really tricky side. But that's the game that we've got coming up next. We're going to have to see whether we can get a bit of momentum leading up to it. Hopefully that Palace game is the one that I'm looking at that we must get a result in if we at all can. And then we'll just see how we get on against Tottenham. So come back and join me for the Tottenham match. It should be an entertaining game, whichever way, against Bielsa and against some very good players. Until then, though, thank you for joining me today. I hope you're enjoying the beta series. Tell me about how yours are going in the comments below, how you're finding Football Manager 21 beta yourself, because I think it's been phenomenal in terms of what they've been able to achieve. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Until next time, though, thank you for joining me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Join my United City community, the more the merrier. Click that like button for me on this particular episode. Help me get seen by lots of other people. Until next time, though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.